The pocket dimension is something Lucas finds very interesting. To open a portal into her pocket dimension, all she has to do is imagine a tunnel into her pocket dimension. To test what happens when she puts something into the pocket dimension, she throws the empty bottle of elixir into the pocket dimension. An elixir is a different type of high-class potion that has much stronger healing powers than normal potions. The term elixir refers to a potion that can completely cure a specific illness or injury without any side effects. Most high-class healing potions are only able to heal injuries to a certain extent, but not completely. There are different potions for different diseases and injuries. Suddenly Luca notices something very strange. The bottle falls inside her pocket dimension over and over again. She can feel the bottle in her pocket dimension. The bizarre thing is that every time the bottle passes the edge of the pocket dimension, the bottle comes out on the opposite side of the pocket dimension. With sparkling eyes, Luca realizes that it is a space loop. Even though the space of their own pocket dimension is limited, in a strange way it is also infinite. Luca thinks that it will sound strange if someone tries to describe it to her. A limited space that is nevertheless infinite simply sounds strange and implausible. Luca thinks logically, there will still be a limit to the things she can put in her pocket dimension. She thinks that it will probably end up that the things she puts in will push against themselves when they reach the limit of the pocket dimensions. The goods or objects could not fall or move any further because every time they would move in a different direction they would come out on the other side of the space loop where there is also something. To prevent this, Luca inserts a barrier at the edge of the pocket dimension. The barrier is simply physical. This means that the magical barrier only blocks physical things and ignores everything else. She adds another function to the spell. Luca tests its function directly by throwing all the light stuff into her pocket dimension until it is full. This goes relatively quickly in her bag dimension, has just the volume of a cubic meter. Just as programmed before, the pocket dimension expands until the pressure inside is no longer so high. So it has effectively created a pocket dimension that enlarges itself. Lucas removes a few unnecessary things from the magic formula. Luca is so impressed by this pocket dimension that she finishes reading the book straight away. On the last page, it says that in the pocket dimension, all rules of reality obey the creator of the pocket dimension. Luca sees that the 4 magical symbolic circles that are supposed to guarantee the stability of the pocket dimension do exactly the opposite. These 4 symbol circles only neutralize the disturbance in space for which they themselves are responsible. If Luca removes one of the 4 symbol circles, the pocket dimension becomes extremely unstable. This will only get worse if you remove another one. But if you remove all 4 symbol circles, then the pocket dimension becomes inherently much more stable. Trying to make time flow backwards within the pocket dimension will fail. This is something she already suspected. The second law of magic is responsible for this. It is simply not possible to influence something that has happened. If Luca has read the part about time magic correctly, you can see the past and calculate possible futures with magic, but not manipulate it. Magicians who can see the future are also called probability magicians or clairvoyants. But the biggest weakness of Jenna fortune tellers is free will. In addition, a fortune teller is not able to see every possible future. Luca lies down when she hears a fly. Luca tries to catch the fly with the portal that leads to her pocket dimension. She looks surprised as the fly is crushed against the wall by the portal. It seems that life cannot simply enter the pocket dimension. Luca wonders whether it could be because she has used a magic formula to stop time inside the pocket dimension. But when Luca pushes her hand through the dark, blurred glass of the portal, she senses that it's not that. Her hand brings time with it into the pocket dimension, allowing her to touch things that stand still in time. Because her hand has time and touches something without time, her time is transferred to the object. This allows her to pull the object out of the pocket dimension. Luca has an idea what the problem could be. It could be due to the magical law of free will. It could be that she is unable to force someone into her pocket dimension against their will. But that is an idea that can be tested later. Now she wants to try something else. She opens the portal further and gets out of bed with difficulty. Feeling a little unsteady, She holds on to the bed frame and moves the portal towards her. The inside of the pocket dimension is completely dark. Luca looks into the darkness with sparkling eyes and writes 5 symbols at the same time with her free hand. 5 rows of magical symbols emanate from her right hand. It really is just like programming. The symbols line up in the highly complex magic formula that is still in front of her. The space around Luca begins to change and shift. She leaves her pocket dimension and continues to weave the spell. She adds a few more functions. This one pocket dimension alone is now highly complex. Adding the search function she wants turns out to be difficult. She manages it, but it takes her 2 hours to get it really right. Sitting on the bed like this, she has a daring thought. She has never seen a 3-dimensional symbol circle in any of the books she has read so far. She hasn't even found any mention of one. But just because no one has tried it yet doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't work. Luca tries it out and realizes that she has to rethink the whole concept. It is her curiosity that drives her to work through the night. The next morning, Harmit and the healer come into her room and see that all the furniture has disappeared except for the bed. Harmit and the healer sense that space is shaking. It is the echo of the countless spells that have been woven in this room. Of course, this raises the question of what Luca has been up to lately that there is such an echo. Harmit can't explain what this girl has been doing. Somewhat stressed, he tells a maid to let him know when Luca wakes up. He leaves the healer and the maid behind and goes to his office where he goes about his daily duties. Luca doesn't wake up until the afternoon. Harmit thinks the possibility that she has stolen his gold is remote because if she were a thief she would not continue to sleep in peace in bed. He asks her at lunch relaxed what she has done with the furniture in her room. He doesn't really know what to expect from her, but he definitely didn't expect what he sees now. She raises her hand and the air ripples and turns dark in one place. She reaches into this dark, somewhat distorted void and pulls out a chandelier. With guilt in her eyes, she says that she put the furniture and all the stuff in her room in her pocket dimension. Harmit doesn't believe her at first that she has a pocket dimension. That's why he wants her to show him the magic formula she uses. With a shrug of her shoulders, she shows him the spell. Harmit's wife and everyone else sitting at the table drop their jaws. They don't really know what they are looking at. She begins to calmly explain what she has done. She explains that she simply tested what happens when you try to write a magic formula in a 3-dimensional space. Luca has no idea how extraordinary her achievement is. No member of the Gottfried family has ever seen anything like a 3-dimensional symbol circle. The common knowledge about symbol circles is that you write down the image of the magic the man has in his head in the form of symbols. But in Luca's eyes, this is quite outdated. She claims that she has only done something slightly more complex than engraving a symbol circle on a sphere. Harmit can't believe what he's hearing. Luca breaks with the logic of the entire Godfield family with a relaxed attitude. Her way of thinking is so unexpected that none of those present know what to say at first. From what Harmit knows, what he is seeing should be impossible. Spells that overlap would either cancel each other out or interfere with each other. But Luca has nevertheless managed to create a highly complex structure of lines of light and circles of symbols. Luca is asked what these lines are that connect the small symbolic circles. Luca makes a hand movement, and the construct of light enlarges. The entire room is filled with the highly complex magical formulas. The symbol circles and lines are clearly recognizable. Harmit von Godfield is surprised when he sees that the lines are not lines at all, but chains of symbols. Harmit and his family have a few seconds to contemplate the highly complex magic formulas. Then soon Luca takes their hand and the highly complex construct of glowing symbols and symbol chains in the air collapses in on itself. Luca clears her throat and says that she has no intention of paying them money for the elixir and the high-class potions. Leonie, Harmit von Godfield's daughter, is of the opinion that her father would never ask her to do that anyway. Leonie von Godfield is a beautiful young girl with purple eyes and amber hair. When the light of the sun shines through her hair, it turns a golden yellow. Leonie shows her interest in her pocket dimension. But Luca, who has never had any friends, is neither particularly social nor does she like to trust other people. That's why she refuses the young girl's request without thinking. Luca grabs her fork and downs the food. It is so delicious. There are numerous exotic delicacies on the white and gold plates in front of Luca. There's everything from a fruit whose flesh is as beautiful purple as amethyst to a plant that somehow looks like candy floss. The cotton candy-like plant tastes a bit like lychee and something else unknown. Next to the food is a shiny golden glass containing a dark purple amethyst-like liquid. This drink is also known as fruit bubbles. It is one of the drinks that Luca has always wanted to drink. As Luca reaches for the tetrahedron-shaped dark red fruit, a thought occurs to her. She looks at Leonie and offers her a deal. If she shows her how to make golems, she will also show her her pocket dimension. The little girl's eyes sparkle with anticipation. Luca thinks about how she can use golems strategically while she eats the rest of her meal. Since Luca is unable to put a life form into her own pocket dimension against her will, she simply has to try it out with golems. As far as Luca knows, golems are not living organisms. The biggest limitation that golems have is their lack of intelligence. Golems are only capable of doing exactly what they were created to do. They cannot react to new situations. And they cannot learn. But that doesn't interest Luca at all. What interests her is how these golems can be used. Harmit says that he can also give her a book on golem creation. Luca, who is now completely recovered from the poison of the Montecker, is now completely in the business spirit. Now that she is in a world of magic and wonder, she has only one need left. This need is to become rich. Because when she is rich, she no longer has to worry about a lot of things. After lunch, Luca follows Leonie to the training ground. A few knights from Harmit accompany her. Leonie is a very talented earth mage. Leonie takes a small crystal out of one of the countless pockets of her precious dress. She begins to channel magic into the crystal. As she does so, she utters a long incantation. Speaking an incantation is similar to writing it down in the form of runes. The only difference is that spell formulas have a temporary effect and disappear. Runic magic does not do this. Leonie has finished the spell and opens her hand. The crystal has changed. Colorful lines light up in the crystal at regular intervals. Leonie explains that golem creation can be divided into two different categories. One is golems with a core, and the other is golems without a core. Golems with a core have the advantage that they can reassemble themselves if a part of them breaks off. However, the disadvantage of this is that if the core breaks, the whole golem is also broken. A golem without a core cannot regenerate. But it cannot be destroyed so easily either. What is also very important with golems is the material they are made of. But basically any element of magic can be used to create a golem. From earth to fire, a golem can theoretically be made of anything. Luca finds this very interesting. It gives her a daring idea. She asks herself what would happen if she combined a golem with an AI. Since a golem is not alive, and neither is an AI, it should be easy to combine the two. Luca tries to create a golem with the golem core that is provided to her. She changes the formula in the crystal so that the golem only reacts to her magic signature. She also adds the function that the golem automatically remembers every magic signature it sees. Lucas imagines what her golem should look like. She wants the golem to be able to teleport like her. So she writes some magic formulas that allow the golem to recognize where it should teleport to. In the magic formula she describes very precisely what is dangerous and what is safe. She feels like she is programming a computer program. Luca's eyes sparkle with an insane light as she simultaneously writes in the air and pronounces magic formulas full of enthusiasm. The knights have never seen anything like it. Luca's eyes sparkle as she thinks it's not going fast enough. It occurs to her that she could also compress spells. She combines rune magic and spells at this moment. It takes Luca an hour to finish her first golem kern. But then she asks herself what material she can use to create this golem. The bigger an object is, the more energy it needs to teleport it through space magic. To get around this, she could make her golem out of water or other liquids. but she thinks it would be a good idea to use a metal. Before she leaves, Luca shows Leonie her bag dimension as promised. Then she teleports around the world a bit to look for a metal she can use. Luca returns in the evening. She has found the metal orichalcum in a cave. Orichalcum is probably the hardest metal that can be found in the entire world of Lyra. She wants to make her golem from this metal. She would never have made it to this rare material if she hadn't been able to teleport endlessly in line of sight. She can imagine that the people from whom she stole this pile of metal are relatively angry. But Luca doesn't care because she was just fast enough to get away. Orichalcum is more than worth the risk for Luca. Because orichalcum is so hard, tools made of orichalcum are needed to process it. When Luca thinks about it, she can think of another way to process orichalcum. This is called alchemy. Alchemy is a magic discipline just like golem creation, barrier magic, and rune magic, and not a magic type. It is also called colorless magic. The term colorless magic means that anyone here who has magic power can use it. As soon as Luca has entered the estate of the Godfield family's outer arm, Leonie comes towards her followed by 6 knights. Leonie quickly runs around Luca to look at her from all sides. Luca sees worry in the little girl's eyes. She sees Leonie's 2 big brothers standing in a window. These 2 boys give Luca exactly the same feeling as the bullies from her elementary school. These 2 boys have the same arrogant gleam in their eyes as the noblemen from the mangas Luca liked to read. They think they are better than her just because they don't know exactly where Luca comes from. Luca strokes Leonie's head. Luca sees that the jealousy of the 2 older brothers only increases. At dinner, Harmut asks Luca where she has been that day. Luca says roughly that she has been out looking for something. Luca is not exactly in the mood to tell this family all her plans. Antonio, the eldest of the 2 brothers, looks at Luca with a piercing gaze. He can't stand the fact that she shows no respect for his family. This bourgeoisie is far too arrogant for his taste. He takes a deep breath and accuses her of being disrespectful to nobility. She looks at him and withstands his piercing gaze. In an indifferent voice, she says that she doesn't owe them anything. She makes her opinion clear that she did not ask for help. Turning to Harmut, she says that she is not averse to a deal. She makes the point to him that she has no intention of relying on their hospitality for the rest of time. Harmut asks with curiosity in his eyes what kind of deal she has in mind. Luca takes a deep breath and then begins to speak. She says that she could show them the basic formula for her pocket dimensions in exchange for being given an alchemy lab. Knowing full well that gold has very little value in this world, Luca adds the request to receive 300 kilograms of pure gold for her research. Antonio can no longer tolerate this disrespect for his family. So he challenges Luca to a duel. Harmut wants to prevent this duel because it is useless in his eyes. But on the other hand, Harmut finds what Luca is going to do very interesting. She clears her throat and demands that if she wins, she gets 3 kilograms of palladium and 4 kilograms of adamantite. Antonio accepts Luca's conditions. Luca turns to Harmut and says that she would rather have 600 kilograms of gold. Harmut thinks this gold is worth as much as sand on the side of the road. So he doesn't even ask what she needs the gold for. As Luca knows, in the world of Lyra, gold is just a shiny, beautiful metal. If she remembers correctly, there is even a small desert of pure gold. On the other hand, crystals are worth a lot more in the world of Lyra. Luca has the daring thought that if she finds her way back to her home world, she can exchange the gold in this world for money. If she can then use this money to buy crystals, she can use them again to make a profit in this world. But all this assumes that she finds out how to travel between worlds. For now, Luca wants to create a few golems. Thank you for your attention, and that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story as much as I enjoyed telling it. And if you want to go to the latest video I have uploaded, I would have to press here on the left side of the screen. And if you want to go to the playlist, you have to press on the right side of the screen. If you want to hear more of my stories, you can press here in the top center of the screen to follow my channel. You can also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any more stories. and I hope to see you again in the next video. Until next time, and bye.